recorded on the computer. This is great. We're going to be talking about CRM systems, and I want to dip into all of this and talk about the evolution of CRM systems, exactly why it's really important. And I want to find out from all of you guys if, what CRM, if any, you are using. CRM, you're going to hear me make a diet analogy because I'm always gaining weight. And it's one of my real struggles in life is weight. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. If anybody, and if I used this example before, I apologize, but does anyone remember, and I don't even know the products on the market anymore, Slim Fast? Anybody remember Slim Fast? Okay, so the diet was, and Andy nodded, the Slim Fast diet. You remember, Andy, what the Slim Fast diet was? No?
She's got it. She's
muted now.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Do you remember the
I was muted. Yes, I do.
A shake for breakfast.
Yes.
A shake for lunch.
And a sensible
meal.
Yeah.
Good. So they jam that into our head. Well, let me ask you something. After you have 2 horrible shakes the whole day, what is a sensible meal? The side of a cow? What are you really going to do? And to think that something like this is sustainable, it's impossible. That's my analogy here. If what you do in your sales and marketing is not sustainable, then you're not going to do it. You're going to go away. You're going to become some other thing. And maybe for some, that's the best thing for you. Being a realtor is not for everyone. But what this group is trying to do is to go through a system that's going to be tailored and work for you. It's truly unique medicine. And that's why I'm going to say, if you expected me to say to you that you must use the CRM, you came to the wrong meeting. That's not what I'm going to say. What I'm going to say, and I'm going to find out from all of you, is what are you currently working on? And what elements go into your system that we could actually make a little bit better? Sometimes we use just the system that the companies give us, and that's fine. Sometimes your company forces you to use their system because, like our company, for example, in order to do the billing, we need to go through something called Studio Pro. Even though I use a CRM called Follow Up Boss, we still have to use some of that if I'm going to get paid. And as we know, I love getting paid. We all do. We have to go through all that. So I just want to see who's going to be brave enough to tell me what they're doing right now or lack thereof in tracking their business, their clients. Who wants to give that a shot before I pick on Harris or Mandy or Kenny or Andy or Eitan or some of you? Avez-vous compris? Okay, hey, Jen, I could always count on Jen. God, I adore Jen. This is so great. Jen, tell everyone who you are and where you are. Got to unmute.
It's early. We're on California time this time of year in Arizona, so it's 6 o'clock. I had a question about Follow Up Boss. I'm using Wise Agent, which is a Phoenix company, and I really like it. But everyone loves Follow Up Boss, and there's Follow Up Boss conventions and all that. But Zillow just bought them. Do you still trust them?
The trust question. I mean, the short answer is no, but not just because of them. I just don't trust anybody, really. When you say trust, do we back it up? Yes, I back up my data. Do I think that they're going to, now that you're, for example, Jen, in my database, that they're going to call you? Well, it's a little different because we're both realtors, but is somebody going to steal my leads? I don't think so. Yes, Eddie, this is old news. Get with the picture. They bought Follow Up Boss. Can't believe you missed that.
Sorry, bud. Sorry.
So yeah, I'd worry much less about that and much more about what you're actually adopting. I've heard people, we have to move our company off of it because Follow Up Boss bought them, because Zillow bought them. I think that's just immature. I think you've got to just find what works.
I think it's protectionary, Edmund.
Good morning. Good morning, funny puppy and children.
Good morning, Mandy. She's playing with her dog. I love when people talk with their dog.
Oh, no.
Here, I muted you. Don't worry, Mandy. I can't throw. So, Eddie, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's fine. I was just saying that I don't think it's immature with Zillow because Zillow for a long time has told us exactly what they are. And they've taken steps every day to get there. And they keep taking steps and steps and steps. And we keep saying, oh, it's immature, or, oh, it's just a competitor, or, oh, it's this, or, oh, it's that. Oh, I have an ROI on Zillow, so I'm going to keep feeding them. And it's going to hurt us all in the end.
You know what, Eddie? What I love about you is you're not afraid to disagree. That's great. This meeting is not for a place for people that say to yes me to death. I guess when I mean, and immature was a strong What I meant by it was the relationships that I have with my people is going to be superseded by what anybody else is going to try and do by calling them cold or marketing to them.
Totally agree. Yep, I agree
So
with
if they're
that.
going to try and sell, I don't know, the Markoviches, I mean, these are clients of mine, to somebody, I just don't see them as going for that. I also think that it's a tremendous risk to try and sell that data. Go ahead, Jen, you got that question. I don't want you to let it.
Well, yeah, and so as a new realtor, one thing I was really disheartened by is right away it was obvious that NAR sells our info. I mean, I couldn't believe how much spam I started getting as soon as or maybe it was my MLS. I don't know. Someone did. I mean, it's just insane. So, I mean, I just wouldn't want my people bothered to death by ads either, if that's what Zillow's going to do with all the, I mean, it's just like amazing to me how people are so ruthless with our info like that and just give it to all these spammers, you know, it's just irritating. But anyways.
No,
So,
it's a fair state. Maybe I'm wrong. You know, given how you feel it and Eddie feels it, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is worth the debate. But I do want to get into how we're actually going to use this. Eitan, please go ahead.
So I use GeoFarm for farming my area.
Okay.
They gave my number to everybody. I mean,
really?
And my phone just is blasted with this GeoFarm connected calls. And I could see that it comes from them, or they are the lead source for those calls. And I hate them. So GeoFarm, bad.
Okay. So good safety tip, guys. GeoFarm, he wants to watch out for that. Again, that's not REIGNation saying that. That's just a private commentary by a member here. Yeah, okay. Listen, data is a very serious thing. I think the big question is, aside from them selling the data, was it useful? In other words, I know what happened, but did you enjoy the rest of the play, Mrs. Lincoln? You know, like what exactly was the system itself? Did it serve your purpose, Eitan?
Well, you know, it's a card system to farm your area, and I got very bad results. And so I would really not recommend GeoFarm.
Okay. How many, let's back
I would
up.
like to give them a bad review, very bad review, 1 star. If you could do 0 star, I would do that.
Okay, so watch out for Eitan, everybody. You don't want to mess with him. He'll screw you up. What do you think you need a CRM for? Somebody who hasn't spoken before, maybe this person in Tennessee, I'm seeing Jeanette, I'm seeing Candy, I'm seeing Mandy, who is playing with the dog. I love that, Mandy. I didn't mean to scare you away. You know, please come back. I can see you're watching. But what do you think you're going to use CRM for? Because I think there's a little bit of confusion in that.
Well, CRM is used for everything. I use it for everything to run my business, and from capturing leads to following up with them, to calling, to scheduling, to running my website.
Okay.
Lofty.com.
Use what?
Lofty.
Lofty.com. That's another CRM?
Yes, so I put it in the chat.
Okay, let's see. And what do you spend and what does it do?
So I spend $600 a year, but I have a subsidized membership through my broker.
Got it. And
so it's probably much more expensive if your broker doesn't offer it as a, but it's really, it has AI, and it allows me to run my website. It allows me to keep my contacts, and it has pipelines and emails, and it's all automated using AI. It's very smart. Once a customer comes to your website, it will do a search. It will keep the search. It will send them emails relating to that search. And as they interact with the website, they give you opportunities. And then you can follow up on those opportunities and call them and email them and text them.
okay.
I would highly recommend Lofty.
Okay, so Lofty's one. We know Follow Up Boss. The Edmund Bogen team with Douglas Elliman is on Follow Up Boss. Again, I like the model that the company's doing with Eitan, because what they're saying is you could use this, but you got to buy into it. Because I could tell you, anybody here run a team? Nobody runs a team? Okay, a few people. Some interesting. Where are my team leaders? I usually have them. As a team leader, user adoption is a huge problem. Again, going back to that diet analogy, I can't make Samantha and Dina want to use Follow-Up Boss. And in fact, I shouldn't have to. If they don't want to, I shouldn't, they shouldn't really be forced to do it. It is something that does keep some continuity between people. So if you ever partner with someone, having a CRM is a great way to actually be transparent about what you're doing. What other, I mean, Eitan, what Eitan described was a repository for data. So Jen, you get a lead, perhaps it was somebody in your previous career, that lead goes into the CRM. What is the next step? Harris, what's the next step that actually happens with the CRM in your opinion? Somebody gets into there, what would be the value of it? You have to unmute and actually say something. Is Harris? No? You're still muted, Harris. Can you hear me?
Sorry, say that again. Sorry, I was
okay. What I'm saying is, once a lead actually gets into a CRM, what do you think it's supposed to do with it?
Depends what the CRM is. I mean, some CRMs probably have automated workflows that send them emails. I'm pretty old school where I'm doing most of the work.
Okay, so
my CRM nurtures them.
Okay, it's fine. Eitan, I'll get you in a second, Jen. Eitan, what does your CRM do when you say nurture? Tell Brooke what it does.
So it basically would allow me to put them into a smart plan. A smart plan would have a series of emails that will nurture them through, sending them alerts, a newsletter, and reports about their area, which is completely automated. So they would get every month, they would get a report about the sales in the area, if the market is up and down with the analysis, and they could get estimates on their homes. So it's very comprehensive and super smart.
Okay, and does that help you? For all that stuff that you just named, is that really keeping the client?
Yeah, so when basically, so at one point, the system qualifies the lead and says, okay, now you should call them. So I would say the likelihood of them responding to my call is a lot higher than if they didn't know me at all, because now they've seen emails from me, they've seen market analysis from me, they've seen a newsletter from me, they have searches, so I could see that they are saying, oh, here's new listings in your area, and they check out the website. So when I call them, they know who I am.
Sure.
And so it's a brand recognition, and they really are nurtured, like they're aware of you, they're aware of what they're looking for, and the conversation I have with them is much more informative, much more direct and precise.
Fantastic. So you're getting down to the heart of all of this. You go out, let's say you go to Margate, up north from Florida, or you go to,
I've never been to Margate, by the way, but go ahead.
You what, Eitan?
I've never been to Margate.
Okay, let's say you go to
Keep it more south.
Newark, New Jersey. I was saying Margate for the benefit of somebody that's in the meeting here. But let's say you decide to take 5 weeks in the summertime to spend at a place like Margate, and you're going to go and you want to meet new people. Okay, walk me through what happens with the person that you actually meet. I think everyone, we need to reverse engineer things in order to make them work. In other words, everyone's giving the name, everyone's talking about what it can do. What do you want the CRM to do? Let's just talk about that for a second. So anybody here ever been to Margate? Yeah, okay, Andy. I just said that for the benefit of Andy. Andy, you're networking like crazy. Talk to me about what happens when you meet somebody. What are you going to do with that person?
So I'm going to capture their information and
Great.
put it in my CRM,
which is
which is the same
Studio-
as yours, Studio
Okay.
Pro, right? And then start some sort of email campaign, or depending upon what they're, if they're looking to buy or what they're looking to do, or stay in touch with them some way, connect with them on social media. so they can see my posts. So if they are looking to buy, if they're not in Florida, that I'll be, top of mind.
Great. Love it. Very well said. So here's the
Thank
thing.
you.
She just segmented the people. We've got, I'm going to give you 3. Write this down. This will be in the notes as well, but this is one of the times you have to write. I'm not big on taking notes physically, but this is one of them. 1, people who will buy. 2, people who will sell. 3, lead sources, or possibly everyone else. Those are the 3 people that you're going to focus on in your database. Now, you could go on to any other range between that. I don't want to debate you guys, but for the most part, that's what we're seeing as realtors. People who want to buy, people who want to sell, and people who are going to help facilitate all that. And here's the thing. Each one of those things, thank you, Daniel. Each one of those things needs a drip campaign. What's a drip campaign? What's a drip campaign? For God's sakes, wake up, folks. Okay, Brooke, you knew I was going to pick on you, Brooke. I'm sorry, but what's a drip
Sure.
campaign?
It's a timed release of a marketing campaign of some sort, or just reminders that are consistently going out to the different lead sources.
Exactly. And it's not just an email, right? A drip, part of the master of the drip campaign. It could be text, it could be email, it could be snail mail, it could be phone calls, it could be slide broadcast or slide dial, which we've shown in another meeting. You could bypass the ring of a phone and drop a voicemail right into someone's voicemail. So what you need to do is you need to decide what you're going to do with each one of these lines of business. In this case, we're trying to make it real easy. People want to buy, people want to sell, and people who are lead sources. So let's start with the people. Let's start with the people who want to sell, because I don't know what's going to happen when the people want to buy after August here. It might be an easier thing about the people who want to sell. Jen, I interrupted you before. You were going to ask me something.
Yeah. Now I have 2 questions.
Please.
Okay, all right. Okay, real quick, and maybe you're going to go into this later, but who was talking a minute ago? I want to get to know everyone on here, but I
That's
don't.
Brooke. He's a really nice guy. Wave, Brooke. Wave your hand wildly. Yep, you see that? Nice
Oh,
guy.
right before Brooke.
Served
So
our country very well in the Army, making pancakes, but still good guy.
So he was talking about all these personalized emails. I'm trying to figure out, there's all these different ones, but like, I'm trying to remember the names too, because it's early, but like content for closings, or there's these email companies that you can set up, and they'll give you those blocks personalized for different areas around the nation and everything. Do you know what I'm talking about? You sign up with them, and then they give you stuff to put into your newsletter, to put into your email campaign. They give you content, because otherwise, do you have a suggestion for one of those, or does anyone? Or
There's something that I've used called Keeping Current Matters. Has anyone heard
that's
of
the
it?
one I was thinking about. Do you like that one?
I like it, but we stopped using it for one reason. I think you could today make the content so easily yourself that you could just, for example, you might watch a YouTube video. You could take that URL, put it into ChatGPT, have it transcribe the whole thing, and then make that into a post of your own. The other thing I don't like about Keeping Current Matters, I was seeing the exact same content put up by people in my office, and it just said to me that a lot of people are getting the same content. I don't think it's a bad thing, Jen. I think it's a good thing, but I think that it really depends upon, unfortunately, with all this AI, and I love it, and a lot of you came to me because of that, there's one thing: it doesn't take you out of the game. You still have to work. There's still stuff that's going to go on. So Jen, if you want to use Keeping Current Matters, it definitely gives you personalized stuff, and I think it is a good boost. I don't want it to be the only thing. Harris, you look like you've got a question. I could just see you. I could feel you thinking, no, you don't. Okay. Kenny, did you want to chime in briefly?
I've used systems. The last one I had was Lion's Desk, and it just seemed too complicated. My wife my wife is a realtor too, as of like the last 7-8 years, and she's doing her own thing. We work side by side, but not together, but she creates incredible content. If you she's got a podcast, she's got over 100 podcasts out there. And it's called homegreenhomes.com. It's all about making your house green. So she's gone on that route. We've traveled the country doing that, but It's my thing. My farming is like I'm in restaurants every day. I'm in front of people every day, and that's what I try to do. You know,
Okay, thank you for that.
yeah.
You know, again, reverse engineering what you want to do. You wake up in the morning, you do whatever you need to do to get yourself up. What goes on for the business? What I'm concerned with here is what's going on when you start and when you stop. What do you really need to do? And what happens to those three crucial people? Buyers, sellers, lead sources. I'm going to say it over and over again because we know repetition sells. Because it's that important for all of you to get this. Buyers, sellers, lead sources. And if you want to talk about making a campaign around each of those, we can. There are, you know, when you've met someone at an event or you met someone at a fundraiser, what would really be the follow-up that you think? Somebody throw me some type of follow-up that could go on and something. If the buyer or seller is too difficult, let's talk about someone who could be a possible lead source. What follow-up are you going to do with that person so you babysit them so that they stay in your life on a regular basis and they see the stuff? You know, Mandy, you want to chime in? I really scared her away. You know, she had the dog and now she left and I feel bad here.
You could just send them like a text message, like,
Okay.
saying it was great meeting you and whatever, something like that. And then just, again, trying to connect with them on
Okay.
social.
Okay, like that. That works.
And Edmund, I'm still here.
Okay, good. Good. It
I was
wasn't, I just thought it was funny because I'm playing with my dog as well. I just didn't, I had it on mute. when I did. But so
I accidentally hit the
Mandy,
button.
tell everyone who you are and where you are.
I'm Mandy Bowman. I am in Boca, but I work at the Delray Beach office and for Douglas Elliman.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm terrible with the CRM.
Okay.
And
Good. You wouldn't be here otherwise, so I'm happy about that. I want you to get better. Yeah.
I do try to connect with people on social media, mainly Instagram and LinkedIn. And if I can get their number, I prefer to do a text because I find that really awkward to be like, oh, what's your email address?
Really?
Yeah,
Okay. How can we make it less awkward for you?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not good at putting people into the CRM. And then I think about that, you know, I want to create a newsletter. And then I think, oh, who's going to see this newsletter because I'm not good at putting people into the CRM.
You know what we call that? And again, I'm gonna say I've got a potty mouth, guys, so you just got to kind of accept that, or we're not going to be friends. I call that the fuck it factor.
Yeah.
You get the card and then you say fuck it, and you just give up at that point. And here's the thing, Mandy, it's not just you, it's all of us. Has anybody been a member of the fuck it factor? Just and two. Okay, Brooke was like a little bit. Come on, own it, man. I'm in the fuck it factor. We oftentimes have that. So the question becomes, it's not your fault. You just don't have a system right now that's making it easy for you to actually get the card. Who's got some suggestions for Mandy? When she actually gets the card or gets that information, how do you automate or do something to have a follow-up? Tough crowd.
Just put them in the CRM.
Okay, put them into something. Okay, great.
Yeah, something.
But she's not the one that's actually going to do it. So Mandy, you could get virtual support to actually do that. One other thing that you could do, all of you, has anybody heard of batch working or batching your videos, batching your social media? You could actually, and good, Harris, that relates to you. You could sit and say, I'm going to take one day a month where I'm going to make a ton of content, or I'm going to put all this together, and we're going to actually set it up on a system to batch it. Harris, do you have a system that helps you schedule these things? Do you have a social media schedule or no?
No, I'm very bad at this part. But batching is like, when you do it, it's the best thing ever because you've accomplished so much. And if you plan, it's super easy. So it's something that I definitely need to do.
I met a guy, he's got 100,000 plus followers. He's a realtor. He batches once a month. Now here, by the way, this is me doing the fuck it factor. I don't do it, and I should. And Eitan's going to yell at me after this meeting. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. That's what's great about having an Israeli partner. He has no problem yelling at you. It's great. But it's the thing, and that's why we get along so well, because he's telling the truth. There's a guy I know, he's got all these leads, he's able to do all this great stuff. And, you know, when he's able to get these leads and he puts them into a batched scenario where the stories that he's putting out there gets produced. He spends a full day making videos. He brings changes of clothing, different shirts. He brings different backgrounds to this. I mean, he really thinks through the social media that he's doing. And then boom, he's got a month's worth of content that was all done in that day, and it gets scheduled on the system. Who's got a scheduler though? Daniel, look it up. There's something, I'm forgetting it right now. It's a senior moment here. A scheduler for social media. There's one of those things.
It's Buffer. There's one called Buffer.
Buffer?
Buffer, yeah, Buffer.
Okay, you know that. If you could look up others. Aton, were you going to suggest Buffer, or was there another one?
Well, I mean, I use Facebook, and it has all my
Meta,
Facebook
yeah.
accounts and Instagram, so that's pretty useful.
Okay, so you can schedule on there.
So it's the Facebook Business Suite.
Facebook Business Suite. Okay, it's worth doing. So I think all of you need to reverse engineer what, you know, what's going on. If you want to use CRM, you've got to first decide why you want to do it. Well, everyone knows you got a business card, you want to put it in. But what happens beyond that? And for that, that takes some type of business planning on your part to be able to really discuss the meaningful thing. By the way, Jen, your plan is not going to be my plan. We have two different, and Harris in Houston, we could have the exact same type of client, but what you do is going to be different than me. And there's nothing wrong with that. But Jen, you were raising your hand. Go ahead.
What about if we want to start building a referral network? How do you tag? My mind starts, I have one of those minds that just then starts rolling into way too complicated. But you know, I'm
me
trying to
too.
set up my CRM right from the beginning. And I do want to focus on, especially my Montana people, kind of snowbirds in Montana, Chicago. How do you tag people you start meeting online that maybe live in other states, like you guys, like y'all, like we all are a network.
Okay.
So it's, you know, buy, sell, would you just take that as a lead source, or would you start putting specific tags in for city?
I'm so glad you're using the word tag. Let me just see what's going on here. I'm so glad that you have said another that you're using tags, and here's why. If you speak to Daniel, who all of you get to know, Daniel, you should put your email address in there. Very important guy in this meeting here because he controls everything. And he's going to put his email that you just send him an email and say, hey, Daniel, introduce yourself. Great guy. But one of the things that if I talk to him privately, he's probably gone crazy with the volume of tags that I put in my CRM. I've got hundreds of them. Don't do that. I made a mistake. It's not the best way to work. You see, I'll show you what I do, warts and all. What I did wrong with that is that I tag each and every single scenario, each and every single thing. That's why I just said 3 things to you, what you're going to tag: the buyers, the sellers, and the people who are lead sources for you. So we know that. Jen, you just said y'all, us here. Great. What are we, how do we fit into all that? Perhaps there's going to be this, make a list of 10 tags that you might want. Actually, it should probably be even less than that. And try and build a campaign around that. Because what I've constantly done is we go running down a different road. Okay, now this is going to be for LinkedIn. This is going to be for another set. And you wind up just overwhelmed. And you wind up doing what everyone does. Fuck it. It's the fuck it factor. I just don't want to do it anymore. It's just too much work. If you hammer away at just a few things, I think you're going to have a lot more success with it. So yes, I think lead sources, I would say realtors could be a subset of lead sources, you know, buyers, sellers, people who can be lead sources, especially for you, Jen. Jen, tell everyone where you are.
South Scottsdale, Arizona.
Scottsdale, Arizona, South Scottsdale, Arizona. So here's the thing. We've got one other person in the meeting. I don't think she's here today, or maybe she is, who's from Scottsdale. You know, every one of these people knows someone who's been to Scottsdale. They might not know it, but there is some type of connection there. Calling people in this group is absolutely crucial. So that could be one of your first stops. You might want to make a tag for REIGNation or not, whatever you might want to do. Great. So we got the tags. We understand that the CRM that you use doesn't really matter. It just matters that you actually use it. So what I'm trying to sell you on is not whether it's Follow Up Boss or Lofty or any one of these things. It's actually getting into your head the importance of actually doing something. Does that resonate with anyone? Okay. You know, Brooke, are you using a CRM?
Sorry, mute it. Yes, I'm using Streak right now, but still thinking about changing.
Streak, tell us about Streak.
It's attached to Gmail.
That's right.
So it's right. So it's already just in the window right there. So all the emails get, as soon as an email comes in, it automatically gets put into the folder, and then you can set up a drip campaign from there. But I don't know. I still don't love it. I keep switching around.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. And that's why when a company says you must use a particular tool, it's very difficult because it's the spicy food. You either like, bland or spicy. And personally, I think it's crazy not to like spicy, but some people don't. It's fine. That's just what it is. So Streak, and how much is Streak?
Right now, I think the plan I'm on is $25 a month.
$25 a month. Okay. And they've got a cheaper plan or more expensive plan, or is it one module?
They have more expensive plans. That's like not the free level, but the one above it. I think the next one goes to 60 and then one something.
Okay, so Follow Up Boss, Streak, Aton, what was the one you said? You said one of them.
It's Lofty. It used to be Chime, and Lofty bought Chime.
And Lofty. Okay. Who else? Is there anyone else using a CRM out here aside from their proprietary company stuff that wouldn't apply? Levette, I've been waiting for you this whole meeting. I didn't want to out you, but I'm like, Levette is usually so chatty. What happened to Levette?
I was getting ready for an appointment, so
okay.
I'll get my makeup.
We'll forgive you this time. So Levette, what do you tell everyone who you are, where you are, and tell us what CRM you're using.
I am Levette Bell, and I'm in Norfolk, Virginia, Southampton Roads.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm using KV Core.
You're using KV Core. Tell everyone what that is, and is it costing you anything?
So it comes with I get it with my monthly fee with my brokerage.
Okay.
So he charges us $99 a month, and we get a CRM with that. There are things. Well, overall, I don't like them.
Okay, fair enough.
I hate their customer service. I think they suck. Once upon a time, you used to be able to call and get someone on the phone and talk to people. And now it's like, even with the chat, it's like a 20-minute, 30-minute delay between chats, and they just suck. But there are things that I do like about it. I love the mass text blasting and email blasting, and also the leads that come in. They're really weird because I'm primarily a listing agent, and the leads that I always get are from a bunch of people wanting to rent. So I don't know what that's about.
About
KV Core.
okay.
Yeah. So yeah, and they just, I really wish Bogen would come up with a CRM because they have the best customer service. They really.
Vulcan 7.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but that's what I'm using.
Yeah, Vulcan 7 is a dialer. Levette, I'm going to say it wrong because I haven't done it in a while. Tell everyone what Vulcan 7 is.
It's a dialer.
It's a dialer.
But I've been, I put my spear because I do call my neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really highly sought after neighborhood, so I'm always calling them. But yeah, it's primarily a dialer, but I just love their customer service. Like, you can get them on the phone. They're just always so helpful. And they do something every day from 12 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
They do this kind of thing where they'll do a Zoom, and any questions that you have about the dialer, you can just log on and just ask your question, and they're just so great. I wish they really would come up with a CRM.
Okay.
I love them so much.
Perhaps they will, but let's as we go on with this, and again, we've got a limited amount of time here. Here's the things to help you along of what you need to do. Okay, so just write this down. You need to have some type of plan to email people without being annoying. Okay. By the way, guilty of being annoying right here. So if you screw up, there's no screw up that you're going to make that I haven't done, for whatever that's worth. Okay. If you're going to screw up royally. Just fuck it up. Okay. Just get that out of your system, because you're going to lose more business by not trying. So you need something that's going to email them. You need something that's going to text them. Okay. And you need to be able to easily put this together. Now, whether it's one system or a spreadsheet that you put this on with some type of timing that you make, I'm not talking about automating in that case. You might be able to put it onto a spreadsheet. Again, this costs nothing. I mean, this is like part of your Excel or Google Sheets, and you could be able to put down exactly what you want done with that particular person. Here's the other thing that you should do. We talked about the 3 most important people, the buyers, sellers, and the lead sources. Again, note there's a reason I said it 3 times. You know, what is the weight of each person? And I'm not talking about the hamburger that I had last night. I'm not talking about a physical weight. I'm saying, what is the weight of the value that they're bringing to the table? Are they someone who's done several deals with you? Or is it somebody that you just shook their hand at a bar? You need to weigh in on those 3 people. And that's something that you could get into your CRM. If you get those things done, you're going to be well on your way to choosing what you need to do. This is really breaking it down into the raw basics. We love all the shiny buttons and all the neat stuff that the stuff has to offer. But at the end of the day, you need to be able to have some type of understanding of what you want first. And I'm telling you what you need. You need to get their email, their telephone, their address. You need to have the name. You need to be able to get them into whatever system you're actually using. And from there, you're going to be texting and emailing them. How often is going to be a different story, you know, depending upon the scenarios. We also know that you're going to tag these people. Jen wants to know what tags, how many different ways to tag it. I've already admitted I've way over tagged. So right now, those 3 categories you're going to tag. Maybe you'll make a category for REIGNation or just realtors that you've met somewhere else. And then from each of those things, we're going to break it down into other bite-sized morsels. What communications could go into each of those categories? And this is work. This is time. This is putting stuff together. Believe me, Eitan and Daniel and I have been working our butts off in the timing and the kind of communication that you're going to do. But I can tell you, there's a prize at the end of the rainbow. There really is. If you actually take the time to stop and think this through, you're going to become unstoppable. Because when you actually do this, just think about it. Right now, you're doing nothing. Right now, you've got nothing that's actually going out to someone, or you might meet someone, shake their hand, you get them onto the, your social media. Don't want to use a CRM? Let me try and tempt you one other way. Take a simple spreadsheet, put the contact's name in one column, put the label of them in the second column. Remember, buyer, seller, lead source. Whatever other labels you want to come up with, you could have multiple labels on that column. Then after that, connect it on Facebook, connect it into my Facebook group, connect it into ChatGPT and Real Estate Sales, my other Facebook group, connect it on Instagram, connect it on LinkedIn, connect it on TikTok, get them on an email drip, get them on a snail mail drip. What, Eitan, go ahead.
Twitter X.
Sorry, X. Get them on formerly Twitter, X. Get them into, what are all the things that are going to go into this? And we have across the sheet all of those different CRMs, and you can just put a simple X. So if I have Kenny on line 1, and then behind there, I've got a label for Kenny. And now Kenny and I are on Instagram. That's on one column. If we're on Facebook, that's another column. And we're going to be able to see just how connected you are to each of those people. Now, some of them are going to be completely useless to you. I can't help that. But you're going to see the more you're connected to that person and the more engaged they are, the greater the probability they're going to be a lead source. So again, a lot of you came here today expecting explicit instructions on what to use with the CRM. And we can certainly talk about that more. More importantly, though, I think it's what you really want the CRM to accomplish. And I would say most of you have not thought about that. Most of you have not really put enough time into considering just what that will be to deliver. Okay, any other thoughts or comments? Mandy, you're unmuted. You want to say something? I feel bad. I scared her away, and I really love dogs. I don't like scaring her away.
I got something.
Okay.
Edmund, are you still there?
Yeah, go ahead, Mandy.
Okay, so I guess what you just said made me realize the awkwardness is not with like strangers. It's with like people who I'm friends with or I have something in common with and I have their information already. That's where the awkwardness comes in. So I guess I just need to figure out what to send them that wouldn't be annoying, like you said.
Well, okay, so let's talk about that. These are friends of yours?
Like people like, you know, that you might be at the same club with, or more like acquaintances, but you have something in common with.
Okay.
So you have their information without having, directly exchanged it.
Let me tell you this, and Kenny, I know you want to talk. I'll get you in a second. I think this gets down to the heart of what you think of sales. This is not a symptom of a disease, okay? And again, I think like you don't like to be just approached with someone saying, oh, there's too much in it for me. Maybe you feel this way, maybe you don't. I certainly feel this way at times. If you could, you met someone at the club, you're talking about Boca Resort or something?
Yeah, it's already
Somebody like that. Okay.
Yes, correct.
What would be a motivation for you to talk to that person? If you just met them, you shook their hands a couple of times, kiss on the cheek, whatever it might be, what would be a reason for you to reach out that could actually build a bridge between your work and a motivating reason to get in touch with them? Mandy.
I don't know. Great question.
Okay.
I guess nice to meet you.
Yeah. Okay. Nice to meet you is good.
But I'm kind of talking about people you already know.
Okay.
Like people you go to your church, people who go to your club, and you have their information already. Plugging it into your CRM and then sending them something that wouldn't be annoying and salesy.
Could I give you something that works and works really well? You do this every time, and it works every single time. People around the world have used this. This is the secret. People have died trying to get this information back to. Oh, that's not true. But I wanted to throw that out there. Apologize. Now, what does that mean? If you say something like, Brenda, let's pretend it's somebody named Brenda. I saw that you're on my email circular. I don't even know if you opted into that. I am so sorry. And the last thing I want to do is spam you. Isn't that great? Look how simple that is. Now Brenda's like, oh, Mandy, no, that don't mind whatsoever. Now you've engaged Brenda in a conversation, right? Isn't that true?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. You know what? And blame someone else. Blame me. I'm working with this guy and he told me to put this on and I pushed the button and somehow everyone got this. I am so sorry. The last thing I want to do is certainly I met you in church and I just don't want to be that pushy person. What a great way to approach someone if you really stop and think about it. It shows that you've got some humility.
Yeah,
it shows that you care,
idea.
and it opens up the door. How do you like that? Anyone? Maybe?
No, I think that's a great idea, Edmund. And I'll say this. I think that most of our CRMs are more designed for prospecting and marketing than it is true relationship management. Because to me, most of those drip campaigns are very salesy. They don't sound like me. They sound like I'm trying to sell them something, regardless of who they are. And maybe I haven't mastered it, but I really like Brian Buffini's system for past clients and for friends and family. To me, they do a great job of content that you can roll out every month. And
I don't know this. Hold on, you're thinking Kenny's nodding. Look, Kenny was just nodding.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, he's an old school guy. I mean, he's like really good. But
Okay.
one other thing I wanted to put out there really quick, which is a great idea that I picked up from somebody else. I mean, for your past clients, Porter, as soon as you sell them something, get them a subscription to the local magazine. Like here, LA Magazine's only $20 a year. You know how much you spend in mail if you did once a month? I think in Miami, it's like $40 a year. You could put a cup, you're going to spend, they're going to get that magazine and think of you every time they get it, right?
Wow.
Okay.
Okay, could I just tell you, if I were you, I'd say what Kenny just said was one of the great things that brought me to the meeting today. That's a golden nugget Kenny just gave you.
Yes.
Kenny just
it is
said,
a golden nugget. And let me back it up because
I've got a friend of mine who he's got all of his past clients. He spends thousands on it, but it doesn't matter. It pays for itself.
yeah,
I mean, you're going to spend it on mail. Might as well give him some you want content? Give him the whole city, right? Period.
if you met them and just say that if it's real content, again, otherwise it's junk mail. But if you really have that and you feel that way, that's just great stuff. Levette, you had your hand up for a second. I don't know if you.
Oh, I was going to piggyback off of the Brian, the Buffini. I've taken a couple of his trainings, and I've also incorporated with the I don't know if you guys do this, the pop buys and the note sending. I'm really big on that. Anytime I meet somebody and I collect their information, even if I don't collect their information, I'll skip trace them and find an address for them, and I'll send a note to them or to their office or wherever. And I do this this lemonade. I call it my lemonade campaign. And
Mhm.
I order, the Kool-Aid, packs of Kool-Aid, lemonade Kool-Aid. And I have these lemonade postcards, and I always send them a postcard when it starts off when life gives you lemons, make lemonade or something like that. And then I talk about, it was a pleasure meeting with you, or it's a pleasure speaking with you. I do this a lot with when I'm cold calling, and if it's a strong lead, I'll also always follow up with a postcard.
Yeah.
And past clients, like I said, I do pop buys. I just did one for Valentine's Day where I went to the dollar store and got a dollar bucket and fill it up with all this candy. I know they're not going to eat it because they would probably go into a diabetic coma. But it just stays top of mind. So
Yeah.
you have to
I-
incorporate those things with your CRM.
Important stuff. Important stuff. Keeping it top of mind. All of this is really, really good, and I really hope that all of you start to take this as an approach that you might want to make and really connect with people. Because a lot of you, like, again, we struggle with this as well. I want you to send just solds. I want you to send just listeds, but I don't want that to be the majority. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares. It's like, I just made a fortune. Great. Good for you. It's bragging. I mean, and I'm all for getting a little bragging out. People need to know who you are. But if you actually do that and then just say, man, I might have made a mistake, that's a great way to call someone. No problem. Goodbye. Or, no, oh, Livette, don't worry about it. That was great. I like your stuff. Now you've opened up the door. Now that little conversation could go into the CRM and you could get it to the next level. And you might find some real valuable information here. That's really good stuff.
If you're gonna do a just sold sign, just sold card or something, put in there, I just sold this address, which allowed me to donate $500 to whatever local charity. So they know you're giving back. That's where you pull it in too. Don't just, say, brag about your sale, how you're helping the community through your business.
People like that. People like those that are actually involved. And people like to see, Andy, you and I talked about that yesterday about just looking professional. Actually, oh, Andy, you reminded me, I want to just share one thing that Daniel made for you in in our coaching session. Did you get it, Andy? Did you receive?
I did. I received it. Yeah, I got
Was
it. I'm going to work on that today.
Okay. And did you like it?
I'll be honest, I haven't opened it yet.
No worries.
I'm going to be opening it right after.
I like your honesty. So then this is going to debut for the first time. This is something that, and Jen, this is what you had said. What about these keeping current matters? This is what we did with Andy. And I think that you'll see. So here, this is Andy K. It's her logo. That's what she gave us. She gave us her photograph, the Hurricane Preparedness Guide. And this is something that Daniel put together. And it actually is a guide. Now in Florida, we concern ourselves with things like hurricanes. And this is something that Andy now has as a PDF, and she could send it. And by the way, Andy, you could say that it sucks. You could say
it looks amazing. No, it looks amazing.
You love it or
I love
hate
it.
Because here's the thing.
Great.
Thank you, Daniel. It looks so
Great,
good.
Andy.
If you, we always want, I just don't want to hear like later on after you leave REIGNation that, that never works for me. Tell us, we'll fix it. This is nothing to be,
That's awesome.
But this is something that actually goes out, and you could put this in a newsletter, or you could put this in something. All these images, by the way, AI, we didn't steal the image or anything. Actually, I shouldn't even say me. Daniel, a little hand for Daniel. Okay, this is something that he did, and he put it together, and I'm always very proud of him. It's great to work with this guy, but that's just one thing. And if you guys want to rip that off and duplicate it, you should. You should be able to actually get that out. What other things can you use? And Jen, you've got a question burning. I saw that. Before you ask that, what do you have in your area? What is your hurricane in Arizona? What is your thing that everyone's going to want
We don't have anything. We have nothing, but that's why we love it here. It's hot, but we have no natural disasters. But I do want to do a really cool relocation guide, especially for my particular area, which is South Scottsdale. can Daniel help me with that? Can we
we,
hire?
we could talk offline. We could certainly guide you, whether it's him or not. You know, we do have a coaching program, but we could certainly guide you if that's whether that works or not. But we'll be happy to say that. Let's ask, you know, let me just ask you this. When you saw Andy's name on that, if you were the client, is there any mistake of what she's doing? No, she's a realtor. Does she concern herself with her clients' houses? Yeah, she doesn't want her clients' houses blown down. Makes it hard to sell them. But on a serious note, doesn't that actually brand you as someone that's better than the guy that doesn't have it or the woman that doesn't have it? We need to give evidence, proof of life here that you actually are in the business and this is something that you're doing. You need to get personalized information. But here's the thing, today it's so easy to get. That's what I want you to think about. It's so available to all of you. You have no idea just how simple this is to put it together. So yes, Jen, I can't speak right after this meeting because I've got something, but let's make a plan to chat. And if we could help you, if we can't help you, we'll show you how you could do it. So, you know, that'll be our pleasure. Okay, very, very briefly, wants, needs, and brags. You know, we're going way over time here. This is the time for you to say what you want, what you need, and what you want to brag about. It could be a lead that you got. It could be a deal that you got. Eitan, go ahead.
I'm sorry, but I'm looking at Benson's video. It's hilarious. I would like to share that with you.
Why don't you go right ahead and
I mean, now that he's not here, we can talk about him.
yeah, we could throw a cow at the guy if we want. Go ahead. You've got the screen. Okay, rewind it if you can. And
Sound.
unmute.
Yeah.
Now,
Thank you. Office, could be a bedroom, plumbing, there's a full bath, but look at this closet, it goes all the way around. Where beautiful ceiling detail, amazing bedrooms, a positive floor, a garage. All the cabinets are custom built. Huge living room, let's go outside. Covered patio, plumbed with water and gas. Look at this garage. Come back. Amazing kitchen, dinner, coach countertops. Amazing pantry. Look at this ladder. Upstairs.
oh, it's running upstairs now. Okay.
Come on. Sorry. Secondary bedroom, closet, full bathroom, two sinks, another bedroom, bathing closet, amazing storage. Let's look at the laundry. I got sinks, on one side, another bedroom. Look at this, so look at the yard, beautiful view of the yard. Water closet, custom cabinets, two sinks, shower, tub, huge closet. Now, buy this damn house. Let's take a speed tour of $1.45
Okay.
million house.
Let's you know what?
Well,
Required reading. Everyone write this down. It reminded me of this. Anyone read the book Purple Cow?
yeah.
Okay, Purple Cow. Yeah, if you didn't get it, order it immediately after this meeting. Purple Cow by Seth Godin. He said, you know what? I was driving through, I think he was driving through Amsterdam. Eitan and I have been to Amsterdam years ago. And when you're on the way on a train, it's first of all, I love Amsterdam. Here, I'm going on record. The country stinks like cow shit. It just does. And we are going through this train in this cow shit, miles and miles of cows. And what Seth Godin had said was, wouldn't it be great if there was a purple cow? All I'm doing is seeing cow after cow after cow. All of us are cows. You want to be a purple cow. That's what he was, just a purple cow. We've all seen videos of the tour. And I don't know how many times he could do that. I mean, I don't know how many times we're going to give him the same thing. I saw the 97 likes. That's pretty good for a real estate video, don't you think? I mean, it was received. People saw that. And it matches his brand. It wouldn't be good for me because, you know, no one wants to see me run. I jiggle, you know, it's not the thing. It's not going to be my thing. Although now that I'm saying it, I'm probably going to try it. But the point with this is you're looking for a purple cow. And I think that, Eitan, I'm so glad you shared that. I'm going to tell Harris that he actually saw this. Anyone else wants, needs, and brags?
Yeah, I have something.
Okay, Eddie, just again, tell everyone who you are and where you are.
Eddie Glantz, Western North Carolina, the mountains of North Carolina. I have two incredible properties, both with $1 million views. Either could be done as vacation rentals or full-time residents, either one. So hit me up on those.
Love it. Very good. Thank you. Thank you for that, Eddie. You've been a great participant and a good friend for many years now, and I'm grateful to have you. Who else? Eitan, you're very chatty today. Go ahead, Eitan.
So I have a hunting farm in Lisbon, not in Lisbon, in Portugal. It's in the Alentejo region. It's 1,000 hectares. It's huge.
Well, hold on. What's the difference between a hectare and an acre?
I'm not sure. I think
where's my math people? Brooke's going to tell. Brooke's looking it up. Somebody get quick. ChatGPT. Daniel, do it quick. Okay.
Ask Hector.
I think the conversion is like 2.2 times.
So it's basically 2,200.
Meter. It's like a meter.
Okay, it's big. It's big. Let's go with that. So you have a hunting farm. What are you doing with this hunting farm?
So it has about
An acre is about 0.4 hectares, or 1 hectare is 2.47 acres.
Okay, so let's call it 2.7. Rolla, I don't even know.
2,400 acres.
2,400 acres. Thank you, Rolla, for setting the record straight. Whoever you are, nice to meet you.
And basically it has 700 deer, about 400 boar, and other wild animals. It's a cork forest. It has a house with three sections. There's a main house, a guest house. They're under renovation, a pool, and it is being renovated. 600 square meter. That is about maybe it says 5,500 square foot. And it's offered for 9.5 million.
9.5 million. And people are buying it as a hunting farm.
It's as a hunting farm, yes. And
you know,
it
you learn new things every day.
Does it come with animals? What?
Yeah, 700 deer and 400 boar, and there is some alpacas and some Barbary sheep.
So what people go there and they kill these things?
Yeah, you have hunters that come and they hunt, and they pay for the antlers of the animals.
How much does what's the going rate of an antler?
So to kill a deer with the large antlers is about 3,000 to 4,000 to 5,000 euros.
But wow,
yeah,
that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
You're a farm.
That's really disgusting. But
so in September, the farm the renovation is gonna be done, and there are gonna be 11 rooms that can host the hunters.
Oh, so it's like a hotel. It's like a Airbnb or
a sporting lodge.
It's a hunting lodge.
Yeah.
Okay, so if anyone knows anyone who likes to kill things and has a lot of money to do it, this is a great thing for them. Sorry, Eitan, I'd have to joke. You know me. He's got a serious thing to sell, guys. If you're interested, talk to this. Eddie's trying to steal your business, where he says in North Carolina, the deer killing is free. I don't know.
I couldn't resist. I'm sorry.
I think Eitan froze.
Eitan, this is Mandy in Delray Beach. I am very familiar with what you're talking about because I do come from a hunting family, and my dad actually sells plantations. So if you want to forward me anything, I can forward it to my dad and see if he might have any clients who would be interested in something like that.
I don't know if he could hear you. I could see that he's totally frozen, or he's doing a great job holding very still.
Okay,
I'll put my email in the chat.
Yeah, okay.
I am not brown-nosing Edmund Bogen with this, but that right there is a hell of a connection between those two, because it's a bit of a red herring property in Europe, and in our meeting, there's someone that may very well have a connection that can help them get that sold. Well, that's awesome.
Eddie, you always bring up the great stuff. Thank you. That's very sweet of you to say. Look, guys, anything else? We're way over time here. I want to just see, is there anybody else that wants to say, need, or brag?
I just got invited to come to Fort Lauderdale, so I don't know when I'll be there in the next 2 months, though. So.
Okay, let me know. I'd love to have lunch. I'd love to see you. Okay, Mandy, Danny
work-
wants to make sure that Eitan gets that. I think he's been logged out. I don't know exactly what happened. Guys, we got a meeting on Wednesday. Rolla, I'd love to meet you or chat. Again, I like to meet everybody here. So Rolla, if you could give me a call after, I'll give you my number here. I'd love to say hi. So that's my number. Yes, love to meet. So there, if you could write it down, I don't have your number. But definitely call me right after. It would be great. Okay, guys, Wednesday, we got the next meeting. Friday, a week from today, we got our next meeting, which is going to be great. On Friday, the 21st, we've got a noontime meeting, noon Eastern Standard Time. And again, it's going to be Maria Babayev, phenomenal woman. You could learn an awful lot from her. I mean, she really has some deep insights into business and business development. And she's very humble. I think that there's a lot that you need to learn from her. Terry's not here, so we have no one to sing us out. But that said, I'm really glad that all of you came, and I look forward to seeing all of you next week on another exciting episode of REIGNation. Thanks so much for coming, guys.
Great, thanks. What time's Wednesday? Yeah,
Wednesday's 9 a.m. Eastern Time.
okay.
And Friday is going to be 12 p.m. Eastern Time as well. And we're going to be rolling out other meetings over the next few months and other times and all this as we have the people and the desire. We will keep adding some new stuff if we can keep dreaming this up. You got topics and all that, let us know. But got a dash. Rolla, please give me a call. My number's right there. And thank you all for coming. Take care, everybody.
Hey, you guys.